You guys heard about this rocket that's crashing down to Earth?
Is it from Jeff Bezos?
No, it's not. No, it is not.
Is it a raccoon?
No, it's a flying sugar glider. That's just no. Well, welcome to this week's episode of Potential Apocalypse. We're your hosts, and you think like there is actually a rocket that is going to.
I'm like calibrating still. Okay,
I know
this is news. I
just found out about it myself. It's very funny because scientists are pretty confident it might hit somewhere inhabited, and when they show the map of where it could happen, it's like.
It's like your neighborhood.
No, it's like everywhere. It's like all of the U.S. and most of South America. So it's like it could hit in one of these places here.
Wait, where's this rocket from?
Wait, what? Yeah,
China.
What?
China.
I'm still very confused. There's a rocket hitting the world.
I think it's going to hit Saturday or Sunday.
Is this real?
This is real. This is 100% real. Yep.
So it was used to carry a segment of the Chinese space station into orbit. And now it's just like
back in
free fall.
It's a shuttle.
Yeah. No, it's
not a shuttle. It's a rocket.
Yeah.
It's a rocket.
It's like an engine that they just left behind. The Chinese are notoriously bad with their extra bits for their space program.
Their extra bits. We're just dealing with an extra bit falling at a tremendous speed.
The CNN article I was reading was like, this is not the first time that China has let a rocket just hurtle towards Earth. And I was like, oh, really? Tell me more, CNN.
Yeah.
Can we agree, though, that Justin, just throwing that out there, I think you just came up with this phrase on the top, like potential apocalypse? That just sounds like
that's a
the
good
title
podcast,
for
right?
every news station for the past 2 years. Just like, hey, welcome back. Things are still really bad, and here's a new bad thing.
Yeah, things are bad and about to get worse.
It's I was looking at videos and it popped up and like some news on the rocket that's screaming towards Earth, and I was like, I'm sorry, the what screaming where?
Yeah. There's a section of the Pacific Ocean where like nothing lives, like nothing can survive because there's like a lack of current there. And every space program on the planet makes sure, like every space program on Earth, make sure that their like rockets and debris fall into this spot. And China is just notoriously bad at making any effort to get their stuff aimed there.
Yeah, I was in Hawaii when that missile warning came through.
Yeah.
And I want to just tell you, similar energy to you opening up with, hey, there's a rocket falling from the sky. I woke up, it was a bright sunny morning on the islands. And my phone told me I was going to die, and I was like, whatever. My family made breakfast. It was great.
As the trajectory of the rocket, I was just looking it up before we started recording. As the trajectory gets a little bit easier to figure out where it's headed, it is increasingly less likely going to be in the U.S. Unfortunately, it looks like it's probably going to be somewhere in South America. So.
Not sad. Mexico, right? Because that's where I'm going this weekend.
No, but I would bring an umbrella. Just in case.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Like
an
umbrella made out of vibranium.
No, just a normal umbrella should be good.
Yeah,
should be
fine.
Yeah, just.
I'm at this wedding. I have like a helmet.
Be sure to
and
pack chainmail on your trip to Mexico.
I never took physics, so I won't argue here.
Am I allowed to
was
bring
made
that?
in China, so
just hold your arms up, and you should be able to catch it if it comes at you.
Yeah, it comes down. Yeah.
If we've learned anything from movies, a power stance will enable you to survive many things.
You have to be grounded.
We'll just bring a net, and we'll catch it.
It's more like a corporate seminar.
You can jump from any height if you do a superhero landing.
Break your knee.
That's relevant.
But you'll survive.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
Well, enough talk of death and destruction in Mexico. We're doing something kind of different tonight. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting. I'm not 100% sure how it's gonna end up, but I think we're gonna have fun hanging out with each other. And that's
do we ever know? Do we ever know?
I guess that is kind of the whole point of playing a tabletop role-playing game, is that you don't really know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Let's play to find out.
This one, I really don't know what's going to happen, because this is going to be we might not even roll dice tonight. We might not. We'll feel it out as we're playing. I've given them all the sort of overarching parameters of tonight, and I've given them a character to play and told them make it your own, run with it however you want, and we're just gonna tell a story. It's gonna be a little Osa prequel. And I know that we had talked about it being an Osa prequel even before the end of the season finale, but now I feel like people are like, that's why there's an Osa prequel. We wanted to just delve a little bit into some of Osa's experiences when he was at the Southern Air Temple. So you don't have to introduce yourselves, because I feel like after 45 episodes, people probably know who we are. If you're listening to this for the first time, we told a whole first season of stories that you should probably go back and listen to. I guess you could listen to this first if it's a prequel.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Do you?
You could listen to this. But
it's like, Star Wars, right? Oh, no, wait, I'll get into hot water here. Never mind.
No, it is. It's definitely like that. It's like watching the prequels before watching the original. It's 100% like that. 100% like that.
You could do it.
You could do it. Well, Steve is playing Obi-Wan Kenobi tonight. Danny is playing Padme, and
no, you're gonna confuse people. All right, that's too many characters.
I really wanted to say you're going down a path I can't follow. Who's playing Annie? Who's playing my Anakin?
I was debating between Johnny and Monroe. Maybe they can both play Anakin.
Yes, they can play dark and light Anakin.
Yes, perfect.
Like in terms of like the dark side and the light side.
I think we all understood what you meant there, Danny.
You were doing fine until you felt like you
didn't have to. We're all familiar with Star Wars.
Too much about that one,
guys. I just worked 2 doubles and I opened this morning.
Oh, wow,
the old Clopen.
Yeah, I was a Clopen open.
Clopen open.
Oh. It was an open Clopen open.
No.
Open Clopen.
Keep going, Danny.
I'm so sorry.
Danny, pull out your calendar. Tell us what the rest of your week looks like.
well.
No.
All right, moving on.
I forgot what the word clothes was. I was going to say clope for clothes.
Well, that would be wrong. Why don't you go around and tell us who you will be playing tonight? And you know what, though? I want let's just do Monroe and Johnny and Steve introducing their characters. Let's leave Danny and Nick's a little surprise.
Ooh.
Since we're basically looking at like Osa in high school, right?
Well, really, think about the age of our characters in the main campaign. This is Osa in middle school before you met him in high school.
Osa, you're right.
Oh, rough.
Oh, God.
Why don't you do this? Tell us who you're playing tonight. And you know what? Nick and Danny, just tell us the name. That's it. Tell us the name of the character. The rest of you introduce them a little bit. I want you to tell me about who you're playing, and then I want you to tell me one thing you did in middle school or high school that you regret.
One. Oh.
Oh boy. All right. I am playing Ketsun. So that you can picture Ketsun as we tell a story tonight. Ketsun is almost as large as Osa, but consists mostly of muscle. So take that, Osa. Ketsun wears traditional air nomad robes, but rips off the sleeves, which is shredded and looks pretty BA. But apparently gets in trouble all the time for that with the monks. Ketsun has this dark, brooding look, brown eyes, traditional shaved head. Does not have the tattoos yet, unfortunately. Has not passed the test. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I regret much, to be honest. But I pooped on a principal's desk when I was in like 9th grade, I want to say. And it was not of our school. It was a neighboring school system, which is why it felt more possible, I think. That's why I mustered my courage.
That is the coolest thing I've ever heard. Don't regret that.
but it is something that comes up. It's like, huh, that happened. Anyway.
Whenever we discuss your criminal record.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't get caught, so it's just on my
Killer.
Fair enough.
bragging record.
Let's hope your
Unless they're
principal
listening
is
right
not
now.
listening to
I'm
this. Yeah.
thoroughly impressed.
I was just gonna say that. Like, what happened? What would happen if like someone
That's
was
who
listening to
pooped in
this?
my
It's like,
desk all those years ago.
We quietly just lose one Patreon. Just like,
How are
so-
any of us supposed to top that?
Yeah, that patron was the principal of Rocky Hill High School in Connecticut.
Oh
oh
no!
well, you just called. Okay.
You
Oh,
outed
we're-
yourself
wow. We're
completely
bleeping
now.
that.
You had a
Come
chance.
find me.
You
Come
had
find
a
me,
chance.
principal.
Well, if you didn't regret that, I'm sure you just regretted telling it. Okay. Yeah. Because surely many kids do that, right?
Surely. I mean,
Surely.
daily they must find
Who
Who
new.
hasn't pooped on a principal's
on their
desk? I
desk.
mean, really.
It could be anybody.
It could be any year.
Oh my goodness.
I play Arin. I think that's how you say her name.
Sure.
Am I correct or?
I don't
You
know.
can take full
You
ownership.
tell me, yeah.
I don't know. Okay. So Arin, she's pretty thin and she has long brown hair that's tied into a thick braid. She's 14 years old and she's an air nomad from the Eastern Air Temple. She wears traditional air nomad robes. She's pretty intelligent and caring and always looking out for others before herself. And heaven forbid that actually be one of her hiccups, is that she's always there for everyone else and rarely there for herself. So this is her third attempt at the Airbending Mastery Test, and only because every other time she's attempted to pass this, but she's had to cancel last minute to help someone else. So obviously there's a theme here with her. She's plagued by spirit visions though, and she hasn't told anyone yet. So she's worried that something is wrong with her and that the air nomads will kick her out if so she just stays quiet.
The truth
And
is, you're just
let's-
really cool.
Let's keep quiet on what that spirit vision is. Maybe it'll come
Oh,
out.
sounds good. As far as things that I regret, I feel like I don't regret much, but there are like moments, I'm sure you guys can relate, and even those listening, where you're like laying down late at night and all of a sudden you think of something that happened in the past and you're like, yeah.
You
Wish
just
that
feel
didn't
kind of
happen.
gross.
Well, you're just kind of like, I can't believe I did that. And it was like, I said that in a conversation or that, I have lots of those moments. I can't think of anything in particular, but yeah, I was just one of those really like quiet kids in middle school. So yeah, the whole experience, I wish I could just forget, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I regret the whole experience.
Yeah, I regret that phase of
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, I regret the phase, not really school or nothing.
Yeah. So I am playing Osa again.
Who's that?
Osa is Osa. If you don't know who Osa is, go ahead and listen to the first 22 episodes. Yeah, this is what I would say probably 3 years before season 1 of the show starts, because he was 16 then, and he left the Air Temple 3 years before that, so he's 13 now. And yeah, he's a little shorter, a little thinner than when we first meet him in season 1, but he's still a big guy. And yeah, as far as what I regret from middle school, every single decision I made. I mean, really, I regret everything I did from age 10 to 19. So it's hard to narrow it down. I think if I had to pick one thing though, probably there was a girl that I had a crush on when I was in 7th grade, and I followed her to her bus after school one day and asked her to be my girlfriend as she was getting on the bus. And I could still as I fall asleep every night, I still see her looking back at me and just shrugging and then turning around and getting on the bus. And
Sean.
Oh, the courage.
I bet she regrets that.
That's her regret.
Maybe.
Foolish.
She's out somewhere on a podcast right now being like, if only I didn't shrug at Johnny Button.
Well, it's not that. It's just that, Oh, wave. I'm sorry. It's not a messed up wave.
Fair
Got
though.
one in.
No, fair.
Totally fair.
That's a messed up way, whether you're a guy or a girl, to just not give an answer or say no or whatever, you know?
She was like 13.
That's true.
Yeah,
but also
like,
still rough.
Stings.
Still
Yeah.
sucks.
Stings.
but when you get older, you look back and you're going, yeah, I wish I said something else. I wish
Yeah.
I said something.
Yeah. You know, it feels better to talk about it. Thanks, guys.
Aw.
Yeah, sorry for the laughter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm not. That was hilarious.
I didn't laugh. I was apologizing for you guys.
Yeah, Nick was like trying to smooth it over for my mistakes. I have no regrets.
That's what I've learned about Steve tonight. He regrets nothing.
But Nick has
Thank
enough
you.
regret for the three of us.
Yes.
Asians are powered by regret and guilt.
It is a secret power. That
Let's
ours.
put an asterisk there and a footnote in the show notes about what you mean.
No, I
And
don't
that-
need to.
4
I
of
don't
us
need
are
to explain.
Asian.
I don't need to
Just
explain. The rest of you get it.
The more we regret, the more powerful we become.
The more we multiply.
This isn't even my final form.
My power level is growing by day.
You guys make me wish I was Asian. I regret so much, but I'm just
I know, when I regret things, I get weaker.
Yeah, that's what the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once is about. Actually,
It's true.
It's-
Yeah.
regrets make you stronger.
Yeah.
Johnny, if you were Asian right now, your eyes would be glowing and your hair would be on fire, and you'd have like wings. It's crazy, man.
And the wings, those are you're supposed to keep that on the DL.
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
about to
I
say,
thought we
you're
were
giving-
supposed
You're
to
giving
do
all our secrets
that.
away.
Sorry, you're
Quiet.
sorry.
Did you not read the manual?
I'm sorry.
I need one of these manuals.
You get it when you're born. You're supposed to have a
Memorized by the time you're 2.
yes.
Well, now that we've established all of those wonderful truths of the universe,
All the secrets of our cultures.
Justin, you still want?
Yeah. Just tell them the name
All right. Hi, my name's Danny, and I'm playing Anuyo.
of the.
Of Anuyo of the Northern Water Tribe.
I know you have the Northern Water Tribe.
Mhm.
Danny, regret
Dear God.
From middle school.
from the
Yeah,
Just to
that narrows it down slightly. I think I do regret not. I remember I really wanted to get into skateboarding, but I couldn't get past the social anxiety of going to parks. And so that was like what killed skateboarding for me. And so I think that's probably one of my big regrets, because now every now and then I'll stumble across like a YouTube video of some guy like shredding the Gnar man, and
What
just
what was
shred.
it about parks? What was it about parks that just filled young Danny with anxiety?
dude, middle schoolers suck. They were chock full of them.
Hmm.
Danny's 100% correct.
Middle schoolers are the worst type of people
People, yeah,
on the face of this planet.
worst stage of humanity.
Graduate students are.
ooh,
Nah.
very
Because
tough.
they can at least like contribute something to society. Middle schoolers, no.
They pay taxes.
I was a graduate student.
Yeah.
Most of them don't, though. Most of them don't work.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
so graduate students are just the adult version of middle schoolers?
That's what I'm saying.
Cycle back.
Except they're way less likely to pinpoint your greatest insecurity and yell it at
Yeah.
a room you're in.
It's true.
Very
least-
Yeah, it's
Dude,
like a superpower.
Okay, we're moving.
Nick, what can we expect from you tonight?
You'll find out.
Okay. Then tell us
but
a regret.
You can expect nothing.
Okay.
Oh, am I supposed to say my character name?
Just say the name. Just say the name. So that way
No,
when
just-
it comes
just the name.
up, people will know. You know?
Yes. I will be playing. I'm Nicholas Goblin, and I will be playing Shaba.
Ooh.
That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to say.
Regrets.
Yeah. So one time I went to Costa Rica, and it was this really cool trip. And there was this girl that I liked who was also on the trip, and I thought it would be this big brain idea to leave these like tropical flowers on her bed night or in her nightstand in like the place that we were staying in, because there were tropical flowers everywhere. And yeah, it just didn't amount to anything. It was literally it was like in the beginning of the trip. So the next like 9 days of my life was just like just like being stuck in this situation where like we had to like travel together because we were in this small group of kids in 8th graders just on this trip in a different country. So yeah, it was a combination of getting nagged by my few friends who were there and just having to be near this person who had just rejected me for
So sorry.
like 10 days.
Oh.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So she knew that. You
Oh,
loved
so
flowers.
it was pretty immediately made known to her who was leaving the flowers. And yeah, and she very politely wrote me a no thank you note. It was pretty well handled.
No shrug?
She should just shrug and get on the bus.
She was very gracious about it. She was, you know, I probably wasn't because I was a terrible person. That's another regret, but we're not going to talk about those.
But you did do the flower thing, though. The flowers are nice.
Yeah, no, I really wish I hadn't done that.
It's okay.
Back.
Wait a second. So you and Johnny, do you guys regret doing what you did because you guys got rejected, or why do you guys regret it?
Is there cringe ways of doing it, or
Yeah, like what is it like? What is it that you regret?
Well, to be clear, the flowers were a genius. Those
That's what I'm saying.
That
Those
sounded
are
sweet.
great.
I'm
That
I was
sounds
gonna
sweet.
say.
romantic as all right.
Yeah.
That's a fact, and it's still true.
Okay.
But it was never like having absolutely no idea if this was going to work, or I guess that's not really it either. It's really just the fact that like the rest of the trip, I hadn't considered for a single second that I was going to be trapped with this person, and if they said like no, thank you, we would just be stuck together.
so like you're sort of thinking they should have
Yeah.
done like at the end of the trip.
Yeah, that probably
Yes,
wouldn't.
like a build up
The
to the
timing.
end of the trip.
Yeah.
There you
The
go.
timing, and also my handling of the situation
After.
also after, which
Yeah.
was not well, and we're not going to get into that.
Was the angst
I-
high?
I just regret it because it was like super embarrassing. And in hindsight, like I know plenty of people who met the person that they're married to, like met their like soulmate or whatever in middle school. But when I think back to who I was as a 12-year-old, I'm like, what was I even doing? Like, where was that going to go if she was interested? Like,
Where are we gonna take her, Johnny? Like,
I don't know. I had a plan to go to this like really divey pizza restaurant, but we
Ew.
both would have gotten sick. It would have been a terrible experience anyway if she'd said yes. So
Oh, yeah, we should table this for now, but we should definitely do a banter session on heartbreak stories.
Ooh,
Oh.
that's a good one.
Like
Oh,
especially
okay.
things like this where you just go out on a limb and the limb breaks.
The limb, yes, that's a good one.
And I know that pizza restaurant would have made us sick because I went alone after school after that happened and I
Oh,
got sick. So
Johnny,
You were
Sean.
spared some of that then. In a way.
That's true. That's true. You didn't make someone else sick. Well, that was wonderful. Thank you all so much for sharing those regrets. Again, like I said,
Justin, you gotta do one now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Justin,
All right.
you haven't went.
yeah. What did you think?
Give us the dirt.
Well, I don't want
you
to
have
take
to
up too
share
much.
one regret.
I also
for
want
each of
another
us.
one from Steve now.
I know.
Just to be clear.
Okay. I don't want to take up too much time, so I will not be taking any clarifying questions. All right. I will say it, and that will be it.
Just prepare to get text.
Of course, there was a girl, and I never talked to her. I was friends with some of her friends, but somehow I got it in my head that I should call her home. But this was before cell phones existed, so I dialed the number, and of course, the dad said, "Who is this?" "Oh, can I talk to?" And they handed it off, and I asked this person out over the phone, and she's like, no. I was like, "Oh, it's all right," and I hung up. And I don't think I talked to them for a few more years because, again, all of our friends were all friends, but I never talked to this person before that. It was
Nor after, clearly.
not really after. Yeah.
This person who shall remain nameless.
Just Just to be clear, the first 14 years of Justin's life, he sounded like this.
Yeah. of course.
No, Justin.
I'm sorry.
I told you I will not be taking any clarifying questions.
I know.
We're out of time on that.
Steve, text me later.
You can text.
Sounds good.
Text us
Feel
later.
owed.
Danny, put a pin in this. We can bring this back up again on Behind the Bison. You can ask
Your
me your
voice?
questions then. My voice. Yes, it dropped. All right. Thank you all for sharing your regrets. Those were lovely and hilarious. Let's find out if Osa and his friends are going to regret any of their actions tonight. I think we open on it's a sister, an air nomad. She's wearing the air nomad robes. She's bald. She's got the tattoos on her head, and she's just sitting in a meditative position. She's just looking, straight at the camera. All right. Well, we're going to give the three of you one more chance. And the camera pans back, and we can see three air acolytes sitting cross-legged and meditating in front of this sister. We see Osa. We see Kitsune and Arin. And Sister Hangu, that's her name, she continues. She goes, now, some of you have failed probably too many times than we should let you fail at this. And she looks directly at Kitsune. But we're willing to give you all one last chance.
Only one?
Only one. Are you ready to hear what your test is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can Aaron and I, do we get more chances until we fail as much as Ketsune did?
Osa, I don't have to remind you about what happened last time we gave you a test. So, no, this will be your last chance as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sorry, Master.
Here's your test. You are going to ask the Spirit of Rebirth for one of their feathers.
Is that hard?
Well, you are going to have to figure out where Hua Shou lives in the spirit realm. For this test, you are going to need to learn to meditate, project yourself into the spirit world, retrieve the feather, and come back.
That does sound hard.
Only a true airbending master would be able to do this. So,
Ketsune just looks across the meditation circle at Osa, just like wide-eyed and kind of like slowly shaking his head like, Osa, you can just tell the read on this is there's no way we're going to do this.
Yeah, Osa is just kind of like looking back at Ketsune, just like one of those looks of kind of like dumb, like I don't know how we're supposed to accomplish this on his face. Are you sure you can't just tell us how to find the spirit and then we can talk to him?
there's a wide smile on Sister Hangu's face. Once you make it into the spirit world, it should be relatively pretty easy to find Hua Shou, so I think you've got it. Besides, I've heard likes the taste of meat. She gives Osa a knowing look.
Osa kind of fidgets and he moves something that's in his pocket deeper into it.
Now for this test, you'll obviously need someone in charge. And the masters and I have decided that Arin
What?
will be in charge.
Okay.
Okay.
Arin, you are going to have to learn how to make the hard decisions that leaders have to make.
Do you know if we're going to be alone in the spirit world?
Oh, you won't be alone. There are thousands of spirits in the spirit world. Some friendly, some not.
Okay. So I just I take a few steps back and I just kind of shift my eyes between Osa and Ketsun.
Well, any last questions? I'll leave you 3 to it.
We're supposed to just figure out how to get into the spirit world ourselves?
You've all been taught the basics of meditation and spirit projection. The masters and I believe that if you were to, the 3 of you, put your minds to it, we believe you can figure it out.
So, I'm supposed to be the one who makes all the decisions, but yet that doesn't mean that I'll become a master.
If the 3 of you together obtain the feather and bring it back, all 3 of you will have passed your test.
Okay.
All right. Good luck. She stands up and starts to walk away. And before she leaves, she stops, her back turned to you. You hear her say, I know that it's been difficult for the 3 of you. I know it's been hard. We wouldn't give you this task if we didn't think you could do it. And then she turns around and goes, and Ketsun, please put on a fresh robe. We've told you stop tearing the sleeves off them.
Okay.
And she walks away.
Ketsun does not put on a fresh robe when she is out of the room. She says it's doable, but she said that the last 7 times? 8 times? Oh.
Well, I can never meditate on an empty stomach. And Osa just pulls a bunch of meat out of he pulls like a sack out of his pocket and opens it up, and there's some like dried meat. And he offers some to Ketsun and to Ara.
Yes! Score, Osa.
I take
You gonna
some
jump
too.
in, Aaron? Oh, sweet.
Ooh, Arin's gonna eat meat.
Thanks.
Where did you get this?
You know that merchant that comes and he always offers the meats and everyone else rejects it, so there's always more for me.
Yeah, why does that guy bring it here anyway? He's such a fool.
I think he just has it with him when he's traveling, Ketsun.
Oh, okay. This is good.
All right, Arin. You're in charge. How do we do this?
Yeah, I heard you're good at meditating and stuff.
I don't know how good I am at that, honestly. All right, well, we have to sit down. So I'll lead, and I sit down in, what was that position called? I guess crisscross?
Yeah.
Crisscross.
Applesauce.
Cross-legged? Sitting
Yeah,
cross-legged?
Yeah. And I just kind of look at the guys, see if they'll join me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Osa sits down in a similar lotus position, I guess.
Justin, sorry, are we in like an open air space? Are we more into the temple?
That's what I was imagining was an open air space, but
Cool.
Okay. You guys have obviously done this like once or twice, right?
I feel like I've kind of gone in, but not like, I don't know. I wasn't convinced, but I kind of I don't know.
But how do you kind of, but don't know if you were in?
Well, I might have been dreaming. I don't know. I might have fallen asleep.
Okay.
But it
Osa?
felt real, It was really real.
Elder Poundchen always tells me I lack the focus to meditate properly. I just get hungry. I don't like doing it.
Well, you
Mhm.
just ate, so should be good.
Yeah.
Ketsun
We'll see.
smacks Osa's belly a little bit, just pats it lightly.
Osa kind of like bats Ketsun's hand away.
All right, let's do this, I guess.
Well, the trick is, now, when I say this, I have no intention of actually going into the spirit world, but I'm trying to lead by example.
Okay.
So the trick is just to empty your mind and try
That should be
to
easy for you, Ketsun.
Whatever.
just try to let go and imagine whatever you think the spirit world is for you. Imagine that you're there. It'd also help if you close your eyes so you don't get distracted.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yeah.
But I actually like the way you said that, Aaron. That was really good. That was better than a lot of the old people here. No offense, old people, if they're hearing me.
We're definitely watching.
Aaron. Sorry, I'll focus.
How are you doing, Osa?
I'm okay for now, I think. Everything you said makes sense.
Does everyone feel safe going in?
And let's try it.
Yeah. I mean, we gotta, right? I don't know what I'd do if this didn't work out.
Well, I was just asking because if you're afraid, that might be preventing you from entering.
I'm afraid of not entering. Honest.
Okay, Ketsun,
I'm
I
ready.
think let's just be quiet and
Okay.
try to
okay.
focus on going.
Yeah. Got it.
You all taking a deep breath, breathe out, and a number of moments of stillness and quiet and tranquility just elapse in this outdoor meditation ring in the Southern Air Temple. A herd of flying bison is playing in the background. You can hear further away the sounds of airbending and training. Maybe the sounds of some air gliders flying in the air.
Any water dragons? Or
No,
otter dragons?
no dragon hunters. And for the three of you, your senses are here in the material world. You're picking up these sounds, these smells. You can smell, some more meat in Osa's pockets. And for Aaron and Osa, eventually, it's almost as though your senses are heightened. Like all of a sudden, sounds become not louder, but like clearer and crisper. And the smells of the meat in Osa's pocket soon get replaced with the smell of fresh rain on flowers in a field. And you open your eyes, and the two of you, Aaron and Osa, are in a field in a brightly colored, multi-colored field of verdant flowers. There's a expansive forest, and you see a number of like pink and blue and green like floofs. They just look like a floof. They're just like jumping around the field. You see these like crazy creatures that look like dragons with lions' faces, like flying in the background. But you don't see Kitsune.
How are you feeling, Osa?
Not hungry. So that's good.
Yeah, it's actually really good.
Where's Ketsune?
I look around and I say in a concerned tone, I don't know.
Can we get to Ketsun?
Absolutely.
So you just see Ketsun being a little antsy, shifting uncomfortably in his robes. So I know I don't want to mess with anybody's meditation, but you guys, how are we doing? Are we good? Guys? Oh, shoot. Okay, focus.
Justin, can we hear him? Like, is there like a voice or something? Okay. Well, I'm gonna guess that Kitsune is not in the spirit world. Hopefully he's not somewhere else. So, are we still sitting down or are we standing up?
You are sitting for the moment.
Okay. So I stand up and I start looking around and I reach out my hand to Osa.
Osa takes it, but it says, I think maybe we should wait for Ketsune.
And what happens if he doesn't show up?
I think we all fail. Right? She said we have to pass together.
Meta, just get the feather and say I was there the whole time.
Yes, lying is a core principle of the airbending nomad.
I mean, it's super dodgy, just like airbenders.
Kitsune, this time you are closing your eyes and you're just like focus.
Focus.
And you hear all the same things, smell all the same things. Eventually your voice starts getting like distorted. Focus. And instead of your senses getting heightened, it's like everything is gone. And you open your eyes to just see nothing but blackness.
Spirit, help me.
And you drop and fall. The Arin and Osa, you hear from the sky, and crashing down in front of you is Ketsu.
See, there he is.
Hey. I made it.
Are you okay?
That was scary. Did you guys fall too?
No.
Not at all.
How did you get up there?
How did you not come from up there? Let's just go.
So yeah, I still have my hand out to help Osa.
Yeah, he accepts the help.
All right, let's try to stay together.
Yeah.
I look at Ketsun.
Of course. Yeah. What?
Mhm.
Okay. Why are you looking? Let's go. Okay.
Okay. So we just start walking.
So how do we find this spirit thing? What's the name again?
Is anyone else listening?
What are you, like, quizzing us, Aaron? I'm just asking a question. I'm not being all professory.
Are you quizzing us, Ketsun?
No. I just don't remember.
Neither do I. So I'm asking, was anyone else listening?
Oashu. It's.
Hoashu. Yeah. That was it.
I mean, maybe we just go ask one of the other spirits here.
You want to interact with another spirit?
I mean, some are good, right? What if they're good?
Yeah, I mean.
And what if they're not good?
Then we run away, right?
Is your plan to just walk until we find him?
Yeah, do you even know what Hoashu looks like? I mean, it's got a lot of feathers, I guess. Maybe it's a bird?
Maybe it's one of those?
One of what? The floof?
Wasn't there something with feathers flying nearby?
But
There's
yeah.
There's like a dragon with a lion's face that's flying around.
That's terrifying.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't. I'm just saying that maybe we should be very particular with who we interact with in the spirit world. We're not in our element.
Well, I'm sorry, but I don't exactly know how you tell a good spirit from a bad spirit.
Probably the same way you can't tell a good person from a bad one.
I mean, how many bad spirits can there even be?
Probably just as many bad people. Only thing is that this is a different realm and things don't work the same way.
Osa just starts walking toward the lion spirit, that the dragon lion.
You sure about that, Osa? That's a scary looking one.
Hey, dragon!
Oh, yes.
Lion dragon, sir.
You can just call me Paul.
Paul?
Yes.
All right, Paul. Do you know how to find Huashu?
Oh, first time in the spirit world,
Yeah.
Everyone knows where Huashu lives.
Great.
Okay, can you tell us?
Well, and he sort of looks at looks at the sky. All the spirits know where Huashu lives. Oh, it's been a few years. I think they said we can't share that information with just anyone who asks, but I'll give you this. A few years ago, someone asked me the exact same question. I don't know, man. He had black hair, was up in a bun on top of his head, and he asked me where Huashu lived. I haven't seen him since. He started heading towards the fog of lost souls. In that direction.
Oh.
That doesn't sound good.
No.
So is that the direction we need to go?
Oh, if this guy won't tell us anything, you guys are tightening security around here or something?
We're just distrustful of humans. Over the years, people have been making decisions that are not good for spirits. But you seem like a decent bunch.
Yeah, we're the good kind. Do you know any spirits around here who are really, really trusting of humans?
Probably the closest. Like I said, I'm giving you the name of the name of this man is Shojak. Most spirits aren't even going to tell you that. So,
all right, sounds like a firebender with hair like that, right?
It might be. I don't keep up on your earth politics.
All right, thanks, Paul.
Yeah, let's
Anytime.
That's weird. It's so weird.
Let's head towards the Fog of Lost Souls.
Yeah, they said this be easy, huh? Fog of Lost Souls. Ugh.
All right.
So I kind of stand still. I have no...
Aaron? Is it different? Did you have a different plan?
No, there's something I need to tell you guys. I've been getting these visions or nightmares about this place, and it's one of the reasons why I feel like I'm probably not gonna pass. So I feel like there's like something, well, maybe something's wrong with me, but in this, I got one like last night, and for the first time, there was people that I knew in my vision, and that's both of you.
Uh-oh. I don't want to be in anybody's visions.
But both of you were being driven mad by some monster, a shadow that lurks behind both of you. And I can't help but think that if we head in the direction that we're heading, we're gonna find this thing there.
I mean, I appreciate your concern for us, but Elder Panchen told me something once when I had a lot of nightmares when I was younger. He said, sometimes dreams mean something, and sometimes dreams are just dreams. Most of the time, dreams are just dreams. And, I mean, we need to do this. I need to do this. I think maybe your dream was just a dream?
I hope so. I'm not saying that we shouldn't. I'm just scared. That's all.
Yeah. I'm scared too.
I'm not.
Yeah, but...
Do you guys want me to be the leader?
No.
Oh, okay. Right on.
But maybe... Osa? Maybe you should lead us into this next part.
I mean, if that's what you think is best, I think then we go to the Fog of Lost Souls and we find Shojak.
Lead the way.
Start walking in the direction that the lion dragon
Paul
pointed out to us.
Yep.
Paul.
You start traveling, and for the three of you, this is the first time in the spirit world. It's not like traveling in the material world. Like, you are moving, but it's almost as like your mind is moving your form. Like, you're taking steps, but you don't like feel anything under the steps. You travel like this for a little bit, and eventually it breaks to this road that continues down. Open fields on either side. And you continue down for a little bit, and in the distance, you see a tree. And at the base of this tree are the three purplish, viscous-looking creatures. And they're like clawing at the tree. And you can hear inside of the tree the scream of a little girl.
I think someone needs help. Ketsune like tries to do some airbending and like get a ball going in his hands.
Nothing.
Oh, right. Oh, guys, we can't even do the bend. We can't bend in here.
I mean, they need help. It doesn't matter. And Osa starts running towards the tree.
Aaron follows.
Ketsun starts running after Osa and Aaron.
And as you run up, you get closer, and these three things just have completely changing forms. 1 minute they're like a bear, and the next minute they're like on all fours. And the next minute they're long like a snake. They're just constantly shifting and attacking the bottom of this tree. And as you get closer, they sense you and turn around. What do the three of you do?
So do you have any of that meat? Do you have like spirit meat?
Well, I had an idea, and you just said, never mind. I was going to try and trick the spirits, because airbenders don't usually eat meat. But...
Oh, my bad.
I guess can we fight spirits as spirits?
That was your idea, running towards these?
No. But then you announced what I was going to use to trick them.
What if they don't understand us? Ketsun looks over at them.
Do you understand us?
These forms are shifting between all these various animals, and then they start creeping towards the three of you.
I think maybe just try the thing you were going to try, and then if it doesn't work, we run.
I'm just going to try a different thing, and I'm going to run towards one of them and just punch it.
The hammer!
Justin, how many are there?
There are three. 3 on 3.
Okay. So, as Osa, before he punches one of them, and he's like approaching one, Aaron will go kind of like behind him and try to go distract another one.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, at least he just has to worry about 2 instead of 3.
Ketsun freezes a bit and just watches Aaron and hopes that 2 of the things go after Aaron.
I miss Ren.
Does it work?
Push your luck.
Aaron, you are running. You're like, hey, look over here. Come on. And you try and get one of their attention and start running away. And it does. It starts following you as the other 2 start to enclose on Osa. Osa's like trying to punch them and throw them off. Aaron, you're leading this one around, but Ketsun, you can see that these 2 spirits are quickly overpowering Osa without his bending ability.
Oh man. Ketsun begrudgingly dashes towards Osa and tries to peel one of these spirits off of him.
You grab this spirit and throw it off of Osa. And the minute you touch it, Ketsun, you are back in that dark place. That voidless place.
What? Hello? Osa? Aaron?
They're not here. And you're back in the spirit world. And Osa, you now see that these 2 spirits that you were fighting have stopped moving, and they're just staring at you and Ketsun. And they make this like trilling sound. And the one chasing Aaron stops. And the 3 of them run away.
I guess punching worked.
So to clarify, Justin, I am back with everybody now.
You are now back. Yes. You didn't go anywhere. You didn't see Ketsun go anywhere.
Yeah. But when we came to, the spirits were just like looking at us or looking at me.
To Osa, they were looking at both of you, but Ketsun, you couldn't help but feel like they were looking directly at you.
Okay.
I immediately look at the boys and try to observe their behavior. And I notice that Ketsun has a more serious face than... He doesn't look serious most of the time. But he looks very serious now.
Maybe they're not as bad as we thought.
I run to catch up with them.
And this entire time, a little girl has been screaming in this tree.
Oh, we should go check on whoever that is, right?
Yeah, it's safe. You can come out.
I think I want to say less screaming, more just like crying.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Just, ah! Ah!
That could constitute either one, but yeah.
That sounds like screaming to me, but
That sounds very
what do I know?
screamy.
No, I'm saying no. I'm saying that's not what she
I've never
said.
cried or screamed before, so I wouldn't know. So.
I think more like sustained scream cry. You know what I mean? Not just like yeah. Just like
Ooh.
Ketsun starts, steadying himself and then makes his way up the base of the tree. Hey, the things are gone. The spirits.
Danny, why don't you tell us what Ketsun sees?
As you say that, you see poking her head down at you, this very young girl. She wears her hair in pigtails, and she has her attire and the style in which her hair is made is very telling to be that of someone from a water tribe. She has a single loop of hair on either side of her head, like going down around her ears. And she sort of just pokes her head and looks at Ketsun and goes, Are you guys evil spirits too?
Definitely not. No. Come down and stay with us. Who are you?
How do I know that you're not?
Do you see any other spirits that look like us?
I mean, I guess not, but I've seen a lot of weird things since I've been here.
We're
Sorry.
people, not spirits, technically.
Yeah, this is Osa. That's Aaron, and I'm Ketsun. Have you seen anything around here called Huashu? It's got a bunch of feathers.
I don't even think I know what here is. Here. And she starts to kind of shuffle and try to climb down, but she sort of loses footing and just falls off the tree and lands right in front of Ketsun.
Ketsun reaches out a hand to try to catch and support and steady.
Regaining herself and rubbing her head, she goes, My name's Anuyo.
Anuyo. And sorry, when you said really little, like, are we talking like 6 years old? Or are we
She's
talking
8 years
like...
old.
Okay, cool. Anuyo, if you didn't meditate, how did you get here?
Meditate? Last thing I really remember was going on a trip with my father. We were hunting, and it's also blurry. I think we got attacked, and so I ran. He told me to run, and then I stumbled upon this forest in the North Pole, and that's really the last thing I remember.
Meta. Would like an airbender on average even have ever heard of a forest in the North Pole?
I think the North Pole is known as like a tundra, so there being
Right.
a forest there
Yeah.
is
Like, do
very
people know about this like
interesting.
giant spirit portal,
I don't know if the general public would, but the air people are nomads specifically. Like they travel from
Right.
place to place and visit the spiritually significant parts of the world.
So maybe we kind of have this on our radar a little bit.
Yeah, my understanding is that the world is aware of the spirit portals, but they are incredibly dangerous to get to.
Yeah.
Is that how you guys got here? By meditating?
Yeah.
I just want to go home. I want to make sure my dad's okay. I feel like I've been here for so long. I don't know for sure, but I just want to go home.
Do you know what direction you got here from? I mean, to this tree?
Well, I climbed up the tree. So I guess when I was up the tree, I came from the direction of down.
That's not helpful.
And just
Before
now,
that
I came
part.
from up there. Oh, she sort of looks around. She says, that way, and points somewhere. And then right after she points there, she just moves her finger in a completely different direction.
So from here, and Ketsun puts a finger in the air to match, all the way to like here, and then puts another hand out.
Try
That's like
more
a quarter of the world.
Wait, a little bit more. She walks over to one of your fingers and just moves it a little bit to the left. Yeah, there.
I don't know about this, guys.
Okay. Why don't you stay with us and we'll help you find your way home when we can.
How long have you been here?
She starts holding out her fingers and like pointing on her fingers.
Let me guess, from like here to here?
Yeah.
And Ketsun just like puts one hand at his chest level and one above his head.
From like this time to about that time. So I want to say about maybe 2 or 3 days.
Days.
Maybe 4. The low end of 5. And like there's like, as you're talking to her, it's obvious she was just up in that tree like screaming and sobbing. Like her face is like red. But she definitely seems like she believes you guys that you are people. And she seems excited at seeing you guys. Like she's like definitely like this is you guys are the first non-terrifying looking things she's probably seen in a while. And so,
Justin,
Yes.
does she look the same as us?
She does not.
Does she look more corporeal?
She does, yeah.
Does she have feathers? Is this Hawashu?
I've tricked you. My name is Huashu.
You've passed my test.
You've passed my test. You've saved me when I was just but a little girl. Take a feather.
What you've done for the least of these, you've done for me.
No, stop. Stop it. Stop it, Hawashu Jesus. That's enough.
And no, there are no feathers on this 8-year-old mortar trap girl.
Do you want to come with us to the Fog of Lost Souls?
Should be a great time.
Follow you to the what?
The Fog of Lost Souls.
Oh, well.
Or you could just stay
Sounds
here
like
in the tree until those things come
That
back.
sounds like a fun time, actually. Yeah, let's go there.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Just give me a second. And then she goes to the base of the tree and she picks up this little like makeshift slingshot. And then she just stuffs it in one of her pigtails and starts following you guys.
Well, that's a good idea. Why did the monks give us some of those?
Where did she stuff it?
In one of her pigtails. Just like almost like a chopstick, but it's a slingshot. Like right beneath where the hair tie is. So it stays there. And
I love Johnny's perplexion right now.
I'm with Johnny.
just
Like
thinking-
it kind of makes sense and also doesn't. So let's carry on with it.
I think it's fun.
It's cute. It's very fun.
Thin to the point of uselessness.
I mean, she doesn't have a bag.
At least she didn't gauge her ears metalcore style and put it through a loop in her earlobe.
Where did she find rubber bands in the spirit
She doesn't
world?
want to. She doesn't want to hold it. Like she's 8 years old. They hate holding.
She doesn't want it to
things.
be useful.
Okay,
She
all right.
wants it to be stylish.
The now 4 of you continue on to the Fog of Lost Souls. There's some time. I don't know if you want to continue to chat or if we want to just get to the Fog of Lost Souls.
I think on the way, Ketsun will ask, Anuyo, so you're like here, not just like meditating here. Can you waterbend?
No, I can't. A lot of my friends can though back at the Northern Water Tribe, but
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I can't bend here either.
Oh,
Aaron,
yeah.
That's me.
No. two clopins and an open. Okay.
I've been thinking about it. What did you say the spirit in your dream looked like?
It didn't look like anything. It was like a shadow. It was like a monster of some sort.
Okay. I was just thinking, we've already dealt with some bad spirits, and it wasn't that hard. But if we see a shadow monster, we run.
As they're describing the shadow monster, does it feel eerily similar to what I've been dealing with, Justin?
You haven't seen anything when you've gone to that place, but it is just as empty as a shadow would be.
Mm-hmm. Ketsun holds the back of the line And just starts kind of checking, looking over his shoulders as they continue. He very quietly mutters to himself, "Please just leave me alone."
And the only thing you hear after a moment of silence is just,
You invited me.
Mm-hmm. I did, but I don't know. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disturb you.
and then you just hear, and it's almost as just like this sense of cold just permeates your body as the laugh echoes into your mind.
Ketsun tries to keep a straight face and set his shoulders back and look as natural as possible. Catches up a little bit with the group.
Osa looks back and says, "Did you say something, Ketsun?"
No, I'm sorry. Just thinking out loud.
Oh, okay.
The entire time, the camera sort of cuts to Anuyo, who's been walking right behind Ketsune, and her eyes are just wide, and she has a look of extreme worry on her face, but she continues following them.
Ketsun turns back and realizes all of a sudden that he wasn't at the back of the line. He's like, "Oh shoot, sorry, that was nothing. You're safe. Go walk with them." And he like pushes her forward.
Nothing makes you feel safer than a person talking to themselves and then looking at you and saying, "You're safe."
Oh gosh.
I'm starting to think Anuyo might have been safer up in that tree.
On second thought, guys, I'm just going to go in and wait in the tree, and you can come back with your feather. Just kidding. He doesn't say that. All right, let's continue.
Arin kind of keeps her eyes on both Anuyo and Kitsune. She knows that Kitsune's been acting different, but because of Arin's history with these visions, she just doesn't trust Anuyo 100%.
Very interesting.
After a certain amount of time, like probably as we start getting close to where Osa assumes the fog of lost souls is, but before we start seeing any fog or anything that makes it clear that we're there, he's just gonna start like yelling occasionally, "Shojak! Shojak!
Shojak!
Shojak!"
Every now and then Anuyo will like look under like a little rock. I'm like, Shojak? He's not here, guys.
Good job, Anuyo.
Who's Shojak?
The person we're looking for.
Yeah, I think it's an adult man, so he won't fit under any of those rocks.
Oh, okay. She goes to a bigger rock and looks under that one. Shojak!
That's better. Shojak!
And
Shojak!
you're all shouting Shojak. Ketsune, you are in the back shouting Shojak. And you realize that no one else is shouting Shojak. And that's because the three of them are standing in front of a cliff. And you walk up and the camera follows you, and it has this like aerial view pan of this valley that's just covered in fog. And you can see that there is a way down, and it passes by what looks to be like a structure almost on the cliff, about halfway between the top and the bottom of the valley.
But it's like too faint to make out what the structure is.
You'd have to get a little bit closer. I mean, it's like a structure on the side of a cliff, but the path down goes through there.
Yeah, you guys sure about this?
No. But what other choice do we have?
We're not going down there, are we?
We have to. You want to get your tattoos, right, Anuyo?
I'm trying to get tattoos.
Well, we do, so you're coming.
Yeah.
Unless you want to be alone up here.
She turns around and looks back towards the fog of lost souls and goes,
Well, what's the worst that can happen?
Don't ask that.
Okay, never mind.
A lot of things.
Okay. let's just
I knew
talk
Aaron
about
would
that.
answer. Don't answer, Aaron. All right, let's go.
as you are walking down, you can see that the structure is it's made out of stone. It's on the side of the cliff. And it almost looks like it's overlooking the valley, overlooking all this fog. There's as you get closer to, it looks like at the top, like what would be the first floor, there's like a room, like an office almost, that juts out over the entire valley and allows a bird's eye view of all of the Fog of Lost Souls, almost as if someone is keeping an eye on it. And you get closer, and there's a giant stone door on the side of this building, and there are these two, they almost look like flame sprites, sort of like this smoldering flame, and they're wearing little uniforms, and they, hold, what are you doing here?
Shojak.
We're looking for a man named Shojak.
Well, anyone that wants to go into the Fog of Lost Souls has to speak to the master.
Okay. Can we talk to the master?
Hut, hut. And they go and bump into each other and open the door. And it creaks open.
Oh, God.
And you can see that as you walk in, it's like an office almost. There are people moving around and almost look like they're pushing papers and writing things on papers and whatnot. And one of these little flame sprites is leading you, and he's like, up this way! And he leads you to this spiral staircase that goes up to the top.
Oh, this isn't so bad.
Oh, we're very efficient here at the Fog of Lost Souls. Take pride in our work.
What do you guys do here?
Well, we make sure that no one escapes. People are sentenced here to the Fog of Lost Souls, and if they're sentenced, we can't let them leave.
What if they're just visitors?
Well, you're just visiting. You haven't been sentenced here, right?
No. All right, guys. I know
Just visiting.
I knew you? No, you're right.
The flame sprite sort of smokes up. It's this wisp of fire that moves. Looks at Anuyo. No, not her. No, she's good.
Oh, you can tell us by looking. All right.
Anuyo looks terrified.
It keeps leading you up to the top floor that you saw, and it leads you to where you would know that this office that overlooks everything is. And he stops at the door and goes, the boss is just right in here.
What's the boss's name?
His name's Shaba. Be respectful.
Great. Okay.
And the flame sprite dashes back downstairs.
Okay.
Guys, I don't have a good feeling about this.
Osa just pushes the door open.
Creaks open. And you can
Narn
see...
sticks her head in. Look.
Aaron, you look and there's a desk. You can see that there are almost windows, but without the glass, so it's just open to the Fog of Lost Souls. But it's a 360 view of this entire valley. And there's a desk and a chair, but no one is sitting in it. There's to your right, there is a sitting room almost with a bunch of chairs and tables and whatnot. To your left, on the left wall, you don't see anything. It just looks like there's a pile of metal in the left. It's just sitting on the ground.
Interesting.
Do you see Shaba?
Nope.
Canaries too.
And the voice comes from the pile of metal on the floor.
Hello?
Nandeska? I don't know. You mortals have so many
What?
languages. What do you want from me? And the chains, because they are chains, the metal on the floor, start to writhe and move and flow towards the desk and the chair. You catch me. I'm taking a break. I get a break every once in a while. All these friggin' spirits always dumping all of their mortals into my friggin' hole, and then I gotta watch them. And there's always more. And hey, and as the chains flow into the chair, one of the drawers opens and some clothes are pulled out, and the chains coil themselves into the clothes, and the chains, as well as chains can wear a suit and sit down, as well as chains in the shape of a man can sit down into the chair at the desk. So what do you want? I'm kidding. I know what you want.
Whoa.
But I want you to ask it.
Do you need us for this conversation?
No, but you need me, so you better change your tone.
Yeah.
You guys want to talk to Shoko? Yoko Ono? What is this?
Shojock.
Shojock, yeah. Why?
Do you know... Well, I look back at the rest of them. So do you want us to tell you something you already know? Or, like, what do you...
I'm just trying to talk to you. I don't know, what are you guys on about? You're here to ask me for something.
We need help.
We need to find Hawashu.
Hawashu. Oh, yeah. We're not supposed to tell you guys, Immortals, where Hawashu is.
Yeah, that's why we need to talk to Shojock.
I don't know why you guys are doing this. You've failed the exam. I don't know why you're...
This is our last chance.
No. You already failed. It's done. It's written in stone.
Even the spirits know we failed. Oh.
Well, I know everything. There's a difference. Those idiots out there, they don't know
haven't failed anything.
Yeah, you're fine. Well, I mean, you're not fine. You're stuck in the spirit world, so have fun with that. I mean, if you want to go get him, you're welcome to head on in.
How do we find him?
Well, you already have. He's here. And because you're here, and since you've always been here and you always will be here, you've already found him. He's given an infinite amount of time to do something.
What?
Hey, back up.
What do you
mean? What do you mean?
We're always going to be here.
Well, you're going to go in, and since nobody really arrives, right? They're already here. Everyone who's going to be in the fog is already there and has always been there and will always be there. That's the fog, right? No one arrives.
But
people leave. But
sometime and they weren't in the fog, right?
Not how it works, bud.
But we weren't in the fog.
So we won't be able to leave once we get in?
You will be in the fog.
But
which means you are in the fog.
But we weren't in the fog, and we will leave the fog to get to Hawashu.
You don't want to leave the fog, kid. There's not a whole lot waiting for you.
I desperately want to know what that means, but please don't tell me.
Yeah, you wouldn't get it anyways. It's fine. I don't think it would change anything either.
What about me? Is there good stuff waiting for me?
Yeah. Keep talking to that voice in your head. We'll see.
What voice in his head? What voice in your head?
I feel like you guys should be a little bit more focused on your goal.
Maybe we could just talk later about that.
You know what you got to do? He's down there. Go find him.
Okay.
As long as you don't, keep talking like we're going to stay here forever. Gosh.
Yeah.
Can you tell us?
Leave at some point.
You've already been here forever. It's the day you get out.
Okay, can you tell us what he looks like?
And if you could ever imagine what Shane's thinking looks like.
Just like a little bit of rattle going on.
Yeah.
Clink, clink, clink.
The chains just form a question mark for his head. It's just... yeah. It's not coming. It's not coming to me.
Down where exactly is he?
In the fog.
Oh, just in the fog.
I don't think we're going to get more specific instructions.
The fog is infinite. It doesn't take up any space, and it takes up all of the space of...
Okay. So here's what I've figured out, guys. He's crazy, but if Shojock's in the fog, we got to go down there.
I'm the spirit of madness. What did you expect?
You
okay.
are being very angry right now. That makes a lot of sense.
That's not what madness means. Anyways, you take this very convenient elevator down. Actually, I don't have an elevator. I'm sorry.
Oh man, I was really hoping for just an awkward elevator scene where it's just like...
Maybe the escalator's working. I don't know. You can ask Sebastian if the escalators are operational. They usually aren't, but I think the elevator's out of service.
How do we get down there?
The escalator.
But you said they're out of service.
But we don't want to escalate.
You don't even know what an escalator is.
But you said that
Kitsune
it's not a
just starts,
service, so whatever it is, it doesn't work.
squinting really intensely at the bundle of chains, and it's like, I think we should just go. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do your best to leave.
We don't want to waste any more of our forever in the fog talking to him, right?
Well, I mean, you've got forever, so. Oh, not all of you.
So Aaron just starts to walk away.
Yeah, Alyssa follows.
Yeah, for sure. We're gone.
We're gonna get to leave the fog, right?
Yeah, of course we will. I knew you. The monks told us we'd be fine.
I told you that you guys would be fine. I don't.
Yeah, you're with us. You'll be okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
We'll protect you.
we're strong and big and stuff. And you have that thing in your hair.
Oh yeah. She puts it in her other pigtail.
Sure, you can do that, I guess. All right. Do we find anything that we would not recognize as an escalator, but might be it?
No, you absolutely do not find anything resembling an escalator. You have no idea what Shaba
One
was talking
escalator.
about.
downstairs.
Not a thing.
Do we find anyone named Sebastian?
No, you do not.
Sebastian.
You're shouting, and no one answers to Sebastian.
Sebastian.
It's only those
So
two fire
dark.
sprites.
Yeah.
And they're like,
I was just imagining like a room just chock full of like spirits and apparent employees of this place, and
None of
no
them
one
are
is
named
Sebastian.
Yes.
Everyone turns to us as we call out Sebastian, like, this again.
And eventually, you continue to follow this path down to the valley, and there comes a point where the fog is right in front of you. You enter into it, you're going to be at the base of this valley.
All right, this is it.
Anio kind of reaches her hand out and like waves it around just to see how like the fog interacts.
It's weirdly heavy.
It's like
And
viscous.
yeah, material for what you would expect fog to be. Like you find resistance when your hand is moving in it.
Does it seem like it dampens sound or
From where you are, no, but you can't hear anything in the valley.
You guys do realize it might be very difficult to find our way back out of it.
Yeah. Well, you're the leader, right? So I guess you should go first, Aaron.
how are we supposed to find anyone in there?
Justin, is there anything nearby, like anything that could help us light away, like maybe a torch or something?
Just grab one of those spirit guards and just drag him in. Hey, torch boy.
That's a good question. Yeah, what do you guys think? I think that sounds fun. That's an inventive way to try and solve this problem.
Okay, so I have an idea. I'm gonna use that torch to help light the way, but we're gonna need something to leave breadcrumbs behind so we know exactly where we left, like what area we came from. So, does anyone have anything in their pockets?
Oh, so be honest. Save it for later.
I don't have anything in my spirit pockets. No,
Okay.
that's on my actual body at the air.
But you
temple.
have spirit clothes. Why don't you have spirit meat sticks?
If I had them, I would eat them, and we would not put them on the ground. But no, I checked. I don't have anything.
Anuyo says, I might have something. And she pulls out this pouch of a bunch of these curiously hard berries that she's been collecting in the spirit world. She goes, these are some berries. I've tried eating them, but maybe for humans they're incredibly hard and rocky, so I just try to use them on my slingshot that doesn't work at all.
Maybe you should keep them just in case. Justin, is there anything else nearby that we could use as you know,
Yeah, it's like
to leave a
breadcrumbs.
trail? Yeah.
Be hard on us, Justin.
There's like an entire French loaf of bread just on the ground next to us.
There's actually a plate, and it just says breadcrumbs here, and it's pointing down to a plate of breadcrumbs.
It's not even bread, it's a plate of breadcrumbs. The plate of panko.
When I said breadcrumbs, I didn't actually mean breadcrumbs. I'm gonna,
No, that's what you
I'm gonna
get.
guess.
You say it, that's what you get.
It's a jar of panko.
You could give us nothing.
I could give you nothing.
And I think that would be interesting if we still make it back.
All right.
Also,
At least Osa has to make it back.
well, I was gonna say, like, I mean, I don't know how we want to play this because we don't necessarily know it, and I don't know how we would figure it out. But like, I think from what I remember in Korra, like anything that we try to like leave behind, we won't be able to find.
It's
like,
true.
I think we would need to. What is it, like, accept your fear or something, or like embrace your fear?
Yeah, embrace your fear, whatever it is.
But we don't know that yet. Or
you
do
don't
we?
know that yet. You don't know that yet.
We could gather pebbles and put them down, and then you can.
Yeah,
do
I'm just
whatever you
saying,
want
like,
with
we
the
should
fiction.
maybe not draw too much focus to whatever we're putting on the ground because it's not going to stay
That's
there.
not going to help. Aaron, you're looking around and you do not see anything. You have your torch, but the only thing else around you is rocks and pebbles.
All right. Well, let's just.
I think at least we can try to make sure we don't lose each other. Like maybe have something tied between all of us, just in case we lose each other in the fog.
That's a good idea.
It is. Oh, yeah. That's a good idea. I know you.
All right. So let's all hold hands, maybe.
I don't think that's.
You got any rope?
I think so. Justin, Anuyo was on a hunting trip with her father. I think it would be pretty acceptable that she might have some like twine, maybe for like fishing poles or something.
Yeah.
So Anuyo reaches into her pocket and pulls out this roll of twine and goes, I think this might work better than holding hands. Yeah. She just goes between all of you guys and just starts like tying a portion of it around you guys' waists. And after that, she ties a portion of it to her as well and goes, there. Now, even if we never make it out, we'll always have each other.
Great.
All right.
Right. Into
Soren
the fog.
sticks out the torch right in front of her and leads the way.
And the minute the four of you walk in, something about this place makes it difficult for you to stay together. Almost as if the fog itself is trying to pull you all apart.
You guys feel that?
Yeah.
Are you trying to stretch the twine?
Well, we need to go this way.
Oh, okay. Whatever way that is.
Do you know what way that is?
Yeah, it's that way, right?
Yeah, just walk this way.
Yeah. What he said.
Are you guys following me, or are we all just following? What are we doing?
No, yeah.
We're following me.
No, we're following the torch. I knew you.
Can we all see this torch, Justin? Like, is there
dimly, very dimly? There's like an outline of it.
All right, can you guys see the torch?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I got it. I'm moving towards the torch.
Can we see each other?
Barely.
Not really.
Barely.
Okay.
Like, you can see like the hand that you're grabbing or like the twine that you're holding on to and like the vague outline of another figure next to you.
I think I have a feeling about this vision here. Okay. Can we hear anything?
How interesting that you asked that question. Because as you continue to travel through the fog, it's like dead quiet. You can't even hear like the muffle of your own footsteps walking through the fog. And then every now and then, it almost looks like a figure walks past you, muttering to itself. Oh, no, never. No, couldn't do that. Oh, no, absolutely not. Never. Oh.
Hello?
And when you ask that, nothing. No response.
Shojak?
I'm going to attempt to like grab one of them as they walk by.
You grab one of them, and it's like a disheveled woman. Her hair is like a mess. And she just looks at you wide-eyed and says, No. I have to go back. I have to go back for them. I can't leave them. I have to go back. Let go of me. I have to go back.
Do you know where Shojak is?
No. They're not there. They're not there. They can't be there. No. I'm never going to let them take them. Let me go. I have to go back.
Oh, no. I let her go.
She just stumbles away screaming this.
Guys, I don't think Shojak's gonna be okay.
There is a very high possibility he's not even in the fog.
What? Why do you say that?
There's a lot of people in here.
So there's not enough space for him?
No, I'm just saying that you're in the spirit world. There's a really big chance that we were just tricked into something that we should not have done.
You mean
at
by
all.
Paul, the nice lion dragon?
I don't think Paul will
Not
lie to
Paul.
us.
Paul told us to go to the Fog of Souls. Oh,
He didn't
Shaba,
tell us
sure.
to go into here.
I mean, Shaba's super weird.
That's what I'm saying.
But Paul said Shojak was in the Fog of Lost Souls.
Yeah. Paul was super nice. Shaba was 2 avocados short of an orchard.
Something about Shaba seemed very honest. Paul, I wouldn't know. But we're here, so let's just try to see if he's in here.
Shojak!
Shojak!
Can we hear an echo at all, or is it just muffled?
It's muffled. And you keep traveling through, and Anuyo, at some point, you're like looking around, and the first clear person through the fog is like walking like 20 feet away from you in the opposite direction. Looks like your dad.
Dad? Anuyo just, even though she's tied to them, starts running towards that figure.
Whoa there.
You feel the twine snap.
Oh, Anuyo! Guys, she ran.
Why?
Ketsune like pulls the twine that remains towards Osa and Aaron and puts his hands on both of their shoulders.
I sure hope that's you, Kitsune.
Yeah, it's me. She said something about her dad and then ran that way.
Are you sure that she's not a spirit?
Yeah.
As sure as we can be. Do we follow her?
We can't let her just wander around in here like those lost people.
We should probably move quickly then.
Oh, gosh.
You lead the way, Ketsune. You saw her go.
Now I get to be the leader.
Just be careful. So I hand him the torch.
I swear on Lagima's trousers. He just leads him, carves a path forward into the fog.
Anuyo, you are chasing this figure that looks like your father, and you get to it, and it keeps running. You get to it, and all of a sudden it's to your left, running in the opposite direction. So you go chasing after it, and then it's to your right, and you're just getting all turned around.
Dad! Wait, Dad!
And eventually you catch up to it. Its back is turned to you.
Dad? And you'll try to reach out and maybe tug at the shirt of this figure whom she thinks is her father.
And the face turns around and says, "How could you leave me, Anuyo?" And then it dissipates into the fog.
Dad! What? And then Anuyo just sort of like collapses. She like crouches down and just like holds her knees and just starts crying.
Justin, can we hear that? Her crying?
In a second. Yeah. In a second.
It'll take a while to get close enough, probably.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear that?
Anuyo?
Anuyo, you're just crying. And eventually you feel a figure sort of walk up behind you. And it just sits down next to you. Lost someone,
Anuyo kind of peeks out through her arm to look at what this person is.
You see a man in Fire Nation garb, Fire Nation military garb, with a traditional, headdress and bun on top. Yeah, I've lost people too. Yes, I have lost so many people.
My daddy, he said I left him. I would never leave him. Who are you?
But you're here. You did leave him. You wouldn't be here if you didn't leave people.
No, I don't like what you're saying. Anuyo kind of starts she sort of sits back.
Yeah.
Like is on the ground and starts sort of like pulling herself away, like crawling backwards away from him.
And he starts crawling towards you. You can't leave. You'll never leave. You can't leave the fog. You'll never leave the fog. And it's at this point that the three of you come in, and
And she's like, help! Help!
So
Is
I
Is that her
immediately
dad?
run and push the guy off of her. Or away from her.
Yeah. You do, Aaron, and you see what Paul described to you Shojak looked like.
So is the twine between the three of us broken now? She
No.
ran. Okay.
Yeah, we get
She just
yoinked.
dra-
Oh,
yeah,
so maybe I didn't. Maybe I tried to run, but I was pulled back because
You
these
get
guys
pulled
are
back.
probably.
We're
Because I'm
both
the-
pretty big.
I'm fine with you, like
you can yoink us.
yoinking. Yeah. Maybe they.
Oh, okay.
they
Like,
were expecting
Yeah,
it.
we're both
Okay.
huge, and now we're
Yeah.
young.
Okay, so I'm successful at pushing him off,
Yes. Yeah. You've got him like pinned to the ground now, and
and he
he's-
looks like Shojak.
he looks like what Paul described Shojak would look like. And
Yeah, it's him,
Is
guys.
that Shojak? Are you Shojak?
that's what they called me. That's what they called me. Yep. Even though I left him. My whole squad. I left them there.
So Aaron just jumps up real quick and it's like, like.
Anuyo, stand over here. Don't leave again.
Anya runs and just sort of holds the arm of Katsune
Yeah.
and just like hides behind it a little bit.
I put her on my shoulders.
Perfect.
That's actually really smart. Anya says, that's actually really smart.
Shojak,
Wait, the rest of you guys should go on the shoulders too.
in a minute. Shojak, how do we find Hoashu?
No, you don't want to go to Washu. They'll stick you here. They'll stick you here forever.
We're already here.
Yeah, we have to find Hoashu.
You're never gonna leave, so I'll tell you anyway. Washu lives on the big mountain. Not too far from here, not too far, but you'll never get there. And you'll never get one of its. And he pulls out one of the feathers. Or a feather.
Aaron snatches the feather off from him.
Take it, that's fine. Take it. You're never leaving. I'm never leaving. We're never leaving.
Yep, that's what I hear. This, and she turns to the guys. Is this all we needed?
No, we have to get it from Hoashu.
Willingly.
Yeah.
Which way to the mountain, little guy?
Okay, fine. Let's do it. Let's fight that way. And he points up, and strangely enough, the fog parts, but for a moment, and allows you to see a giant mountain. And he points to the summit.
Whoa.
Okay, let's... I mean, I don't think we've walked that far. Let's just go back the way we came.
Okay.
Don't we need this? Don't we need the feather though?
I mean, we
We
can
need to
hang
get
on
it from
that one,
Hoashu,
but-
so we have to go to the mountain. So we have to leave the fog.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay. Justin, how do we get to this mountain exactly? Is there like a trail?
You're going to have to find a way out of the fog.
All right, let's try to go back the way we came, guys. And Aaron starts walking forward with the torch in hand.
You,
Katsu?
you hear...
I mean, Ketsun starts walking back with the torch in hand. We're all Aaron at this
We're all
point.
Iron.
Sorry, guys,
I've
it's-
already
It's
responded.
confusing here in the fog.
But
You
Ketsun has
hear-
the torch.
You hear from behind you, you just hear... Good luck.
Thanks, Shojak.
Thank you.
I did not like that guy.
Aaron hands her the feather to play with. We're busy.
Don't lose that.
Okay, she sticks it in her pigtail.
So you were just trying to follow the way you came, correct?
Mhm.
Yes.
Mm.
You want me to roll, Justin? Or you just want to tell me
I
what
don't.
happened?
Let's just go with
Yeah,
it.
let's just roll with it.
Roll?
Kitsune, you are leading them, and you were walking in the direction that you thought was where you guys entered.
Sure was.
And you're walking for way longer than you were walking back into the fog.
Seems like we've been walking for too long.
No, guys, this is definitely the way back. It's definitely the way. Just keep going. So it was like a little longer, I think.
Kitsune, you look off into the distance and you see you. But standing behind you is this shadow. that's enveloping you. And you look at yourself. It looks at you with just this maddening grin on its face.
Do I still feel the torch in my hand and like feel like I'm moving?
You do.
Leave me alone.
At this point, Arwen kind of notices.
Yeah, because we're all still twined up and touching, so.
Yeah.
And you were leading the way, so.
And you're
Yeah.
feeling the way. So you're at front.
Yeah.
And in your mind, obviously, the rest of you don't hear this.
Yeah.
Oh, Ketsu. See you soon.
Well, that's a second thought. Maybe I am going the wrong way. Help me like you said you would.
You okay?
Huh? Yeah, I'm fine. We're going the right way.
Did you see something?
Yeah, just...
The fog parts.
And you begin to hear the sound of chains. And as they coil around your feet, you hear... it turns out your bail was paid. Yeah, we're going to let you off on probation. Well, I did say today was your discharge date, so congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, you got worse waiting for you outside, so come on. And you're all ripped from, like, out, your feet are ripped out from under you, and you're just dragged out of the fog.
Ooh.
Leaving Anuyo behind, who is on Ketsun's shoulders. Anuyo screams, "No! I will never leave!"
You're dragged by the feet, too, while you're on top of me.
You are dragged out of the fog, find yourself standing, and now looking at the expanse of the fog, back on the path that you came down on.
See, guys, I told you.
Yeah, no, you weren't gonna get anywhere.
Oh, Shaba's still with us.
Yeah, he's standing right next to you, suit and everything.
Oh,
Yeah,
thanks, Shaba. Who paid our bill?
you guys spent your eternity. It's fine. Anyways, can you like go now?
Oh, yeah. Where's the mountain? I'm looking around.
And you can see it now.
All right.
Good luck.
Ketsun bows to the bundle of chains and clothes.
Wow,
Anuyo
Nice.
blows raspberry at him and just walks away.
you're gonna need that kind of attitude in the future.
Me or her?
He was talking to Ketsun. He ignores the little girl.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right, we head for the mountain.
As Osa turns to walk away, the chains like pull back on his shoulder like momentarily.
Yeah? What? Did you need something else?
It wasn't your fault. And then the chains coil back into the fog.
Oh, okay. Oh, so he's like thinking about it, like that now that sentence is just kind of echoing in his mind, but he moves to catch up with everybody else.
You make it back up the path, and you're now looking back again over the valley up on top. And Ketsun, you just hear in your mind,
You're welcome, Ketsu.
I don't know. Oh, I'm not going to say anything. I've already been caught talking to myself.
And you guys continue on to the mountain. You've got some time if you guys want to say anything to each other.
I think considering Anuyo was literally on the shoulders of Ketsun when he was talking again. Wait, you were talking. You were responding to the voice again, right?
Yeah,
Anuyo,
for sure.
probably walking right next to Ketsun, was look up at him and say, "Who do you keep talking to?"
Ketsun looks nervously at Osa and Aren to see if they heard and if they're paying attention.
Yeah, Osa's not paying attention.
I mean, like, she has an ear out, but she's not really...
Okay, cool. Sometimes I just talk to myself. That's all, Anuyo.
You're safe.
Why do you ask?
It just sounds like that. You're like, because my dad, he'll talk and he'll mutter to himself while he's like, doing his work, when we're out on a trip. But
Yeah, like that.
no,
Yeah.
this doesn't sound like that. This sounds like someone's talking back to you or talking to you, but I just can't hear them. Is everything okay, Ketsu?
Anuyo, just don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. We'll get you out of here soon. All right.
Okay.
Do you want to get back on my shoulders, or are you good to walk?
We're not in the fog anymore. I think I'm good to walk.
Okay.
All right. And he was definitely worried.
You make it to the base of this giant mountain and start traveling up. It's a decent journey. But it's a spirit world, so it's weird. It's like how much time has actually passed? How much exertion has this actually taken us to get from where we started to now? Time and distance don't mean the same thing here. And eventually...
It's like,
yeah.
It's like Ecuador.
Wait, what?
Sorry, keep going.
Eventually you... I'm sorry, I just want to go back a little bit. The country?
No, I just watched this YouTube video about Ecuador, and it's on the equator, so there's like some cool things that go on there, but no, this is nothing like Ecuador. Two clopens and an open, guys. Let's go.
You eventually make it all the way to the top of the mountain, and as you crest the summit, you can see that there is this giant area that looks like a roost. There's like a giant nest for what looks to be a very large bird, larger than anything you've ever seen in your entire life. You don't see anything in the nest, though.
That's a big nest.
You see a bird that would fit into that nest inside of a cage that's crackling with this purple energy. Who's in front? What's the order of the party?
Say probably Arin in the front.
I think Osa's probably in the back at this particular moment.
Osa, you see Ketsun's body go rigid.
Ketsun? Are you okay? Ketsun? Osa like grabs Ketsun's shoulder and is like trying to like shake him.
And it's at that moment that Ketsun's body relaxes again. And Ketsun turns around, and his eyes have that same crackling purple energy. No whites, no irises, just black and voidless.
Ketsun, did you do this somehow?
Ketsun did do this.
Arin?
It's time to get rid of this spirit for eternity.
We need him to get our tattoos. Ketsun, what is going on?
Ketsun is not available.
Osa is just thinking to the last thing that worked, coming up against a dark spirit, and he just punches Ketsun in the face.
Ketsun's body goes to the ground, but otherwise his appearance remains unchanged, and he just continues to say,
Leave a message at the beep.
At this point, Anuyo is like cowering behind Arin.
What is Arin doing?
I'm petrified. This is exactly what I kind of dreamt about. So right now I'm frozen. I haven't decided to fight or flight.
If Ketsun is down, I think Osa jumps over Ketsun's body and like rushes to the cage and starts trying to like pull it open. Like he's not really looking for a lock. He's not thinking logically per se, but he's just trying to
yeah, absolutely
to open the cage.
I think it'll take some time for you to bust it open that way. So,
he like looks around, and if there's like he sees a rock on the ground and picks it up and just starts like hitting the cage, like he's like desperate, like just doing everything he can.
No, absolutely. Ketsun reaches his hand out, Osa, and you see the cage start to tighten around Kwasho, and you hear a caw of pain come from the Great Spirit.
Just on instinct, Osa like looks at Ketsun and tries to bend and tries to like blow a gust of air to like push him off balance. Aaron, do something. Help.
So I decide that I'm going to try, and I try to help him by airbending. But Justin, is there any success with that at all?
You are projecting into the spirit world, and your bending is useless here.
At some point, Anuyo yells, "Stop! You're hurting it!" And Anuyo just dives for Ketsun's legs, like sort of just like grabs onto his legs, maybe starts tugging at them, and she goes, "Stop! You're hurting it!"
And then I decide, okay, just so that we're clear, we're all trying to fight Ketsun, right? Correct?
Mhm.
Okay, so I decide to go on my knees, and I say, "You don't need him. You can take me instead."
A mortal offers its life for a spirit. What is this?
Ketsun's one of us. He's my friend.
Washo must perish. Your trade is unacceptable.
What do you want?
Ketsun's hand squeezes again and the cage tightens.
What do you want?
I want Washo's place in this realm, and it will be mine.
Stop and think about what you're doing. He's the spirit of rebirth. You can't... What is the point of this? Won't he just return? I don't think you can take his place. I don't think you can actually do what you're trying to do.
Excellent point. I release him.
In fact, you blew a fine
You're
point.
right. Thank you.
Let's have tea.
Perhaps Kavo, the Stark Spirit, needs a mortal's form as a part of his attack. Maybe by binding Huasho into a mortal form, Kavo can trap it, essentially. Prevent it from...
Yeah, so I'll respond to Osa saying,
The cycle of rebirth. Yes, it will not end per se, but we can put it in a bottle.
and Ketsun just starts walking rigidly, a bit haphazardly, toward the cage.
Welcome to your new home, Hoashu.
Hoashu, how can I help you? How can I stop this?
Only a true act of sacrifice and love can break the cage in these bonds.
I don't have anything to sacrifice. Ketsun, stop. Hoashu, I give up. I give up. If you need a sacrifice, I sacrifice my right to be an airbending master. It's the only thing I've ever wanted. But if it will save you, then I will not request a feather. I will not ask for your help to complete my task. I will give up the only thing I've ever sought.
A light begins to envelop Osa. A swirl of air and pebbles just start lifting Osa off of the ground. And you all see Osa open his mouth. And, well, Aaron, you would know this. The airbending tattoos appear on his body, the arrows on his arms, his legs, his head. And they light up, and then they coalesce where his heart would be. And then travels up his throat and out of his mouth. It moves towards the cage and shatters the cage. Huasho's wingspan goes out, and Ketsun in your body falls unconscious and limp as this figure just moves out. No! And you see the shadow just dissipate and flee.
Ketsun is unsteady, puts his hands on his knees. What happened?
Is Osa still floating and glowing?
Oh, so you eventually fall down to the ground. Gently float down to the ground.
And Hawashu?
Hawashu flaps its great wings, and an incredible wind is felt throughout the top of the summit. And it lands and it flies up and flies around the summit for a little bit and then lands back down in its nest. Thank you. Thank you.
Of course. It was the right thing to do. It was the only thing to do.
Oh, what did he do?
Ketsune, what did you do?
Oh no. Oh,
I think you just talked to whoever you've been talking to.
How could you make a deal with a dark spirit like that?
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry, everyone. I didn't want to fail again.
Well, now we have to.
You mean we don't get a feather?
I told Hawashu that we wouldn't ask for one. We needed an act of sacrifice to save the spirit. So I sacrificed our ability to complete our task. None of us will be masters now.
Ketson balls his fist and hangs his head.
I'm sorry, Aaron. I didn't ask before I made the decision.
I should have told you. I'm sorry.
Well, let's just try to get out of here now.
Yeah.
I can take the young girl to the portal. It's quite a ways from here. She'll be far safer with me.
I think you're right.
Goodbye, little one.
Anio turns to them. I guess I could say it's been a nice time. Thank you for saving me. I hope you guys figure out whatever you have going on here. Alright, bye-bye. And then she'll climb onto this bird.
And before he takes off, Hwashu looks back at you, Osa, and says, "Sacrifice always has a way of giving back to us. Who knows what spirits will come to your aid in the future, young airbender." And whoa, you see this giant... Now that it's out of the cage, you can see it in all of its glory. It's a phoenix. It's a giant phoenix that...
Spirit of rebirth. I get it.
Flies off into the distance with Anuyo on it.
Well, we should head back.
Yeah.
I agree. Come on. Let's go home.
And the three of you focus. It takes the same amount of meditation and thought to go back to your bodies. But you feel yourself just yanked through the spirit world, back to the material world and into your bodies. And we see like a bunch of scenes of the sound goes away and we just see some of the airbending masters rush in, see that you do not have a feather, and they dejectedly comfort you. We see you telling them what Ketsune did, and we see them debating what to do with Ketsune, eventually exiling him. He leaves the Southern Air Temple to travel the world. There is much debate, and they eventually decide that despite not being a master, Aaron is given a adjunct professorship, I guess is the best way to put it, of teaching some of the younger air nomads. Not quite an airbending master teacher, but allowing her to stay with the Eastern Air Temple, teaching the sisters there. And then we cut to that scene we saw where Osa's looking over the Southern Air Temple, debating what to do, and that's when you have that conversation about Osa leaving. But now we know that all this is going through Osa's head, that he will never become an airbending master. He can't. He's given it up forever. And breaking a spirit contract always has a way of messing with you. And that's a little look into what happened to Osa. I can't believe you never mentioned that. You'd think you'd mention something like that,
Johnny.
Osa.
Why didn't you tell us all
It never
this?
came up.
Oh man. Well, that was fun. Like I said, it's a little different because we didn't roll any dice. We were kind of just telling the story and kind of leading where the story goes.
Just like improv class.
It was a bit more like improv class. You know, with tabletop role playing games, when you get to those improv scenes, you let the dice kind of tell you where the story goes. But for this, we're kind of just relying on our instinct.
Yeah, this time we told the story where the dice goes.
We rely on our skills and training, and I think we rolled a 10 plus on our skills and training. That was fun.
It was.
Thank you all of you for bearing with me as I sent you your characters way later than I should have.
It's all good. It was fun to be Kitsune.
Kitsune is fun, and he was exiled, so
I guess he survived.
maybe we haven't seen the last of Kitsune.
Perhaps. Wow.
Perhaps.
I expected to be wiped out with the temple, to be honest. But
You
here
know,
I am. Possibly not.
Making a pact with a dark spirit, there's only so much that the air nomads can forgive. Well, like we said, next week will be on August 3rd, we'll be recording Behind the Bison. That's from 6 to 8:30 Central Time, PM. And if you're a Patreon supporter, you can actually join us live. We've got the links on our Patreon. Only Patreon members can see it. So once you become a Patreon member, you'll be able to see those links. You can join us live for that. We're just going to be hanging out, answering questions from people like you, and just kind of talking amongst ourselves about how we enjoyed the first season. Then on August 5th, we'll release the audio for that. So if you can't join us live, no worries. You'll still get to hear us chatting and talking. You just won't be able to join us live. And then the next...
If you,
what's up?
If you'd like to support us but haven't taken that step yet, this would be a great time. I mean, every time is a great time, but this is a great time because you could join us live, and we'd love to see you there.
We'd love to see you. We're gonna get ourselves all pretty, looking nice, and and then the next...
we should, huh? What should I wear?
All your Flying Bison merch.
I could wear the Flying Bison merch. I might
Ooh.
wear the Flying Bison merch. And then the week after that, we're going to do... So next week is like the first half of the season. So everything up to Osa's death. And then the next week after that, on August 10th, we're going to do Behind the Bison. I know, spoilers. I feel like if you're listening to this, probably have listened to the rest of the first season. So... and then August 10th, we're going to talk about the back half of the season. So again, if you're a Patreon member, you can join us live. Otherwise, on August 12th, we are going to release the audio for that as well to everyone. So you'll get to hear our conversations. You just won't be able to join us live. And then after that starts Brindlewood Bay. And it was so much fun recording Brindlewood Bay with all of you. That was a blast. It was very fun.
Justin. Did we say how they can send us like questions and stuff in advance?
Good question. So if you are able to join us live, you'll have the ability to enter questions in our chat. If you're not able to join us live, you can join our Discord, which there's links in the show notes. And there's a channel there to ask questions. You can also, I've posted on Reddit as well too, on the Avatar Legends TTRPG subreddit. There's a post from the Flying Bison podcast allowing you to enter questions. You could also just message us on Instagram or put a question in a comment on one of our Instagram posts, and we'll collect the questions that way. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear if you've ever wanted to ask us what were you thinking when you decided to do this thing for Osa, or why did you decide to play Liko this way? Or Justin, how did this sort of story develop out of what was happening? Those are great questions. And then just sort of general questions. We'd love to have those as well too. And so first half of the season next week, and then the second half of the season the week after that.
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, can't wait to see you all next week. And we'll see some of you live next week as well too. You won't be recorded, obviously, but you'll be able to see us live. We're looking forward to it. See everybody next week. Bye.
Bye.
Avatar Legends was developed and produced by Magpie Games. The worlds of Avatar The Last Airbender and Avatar The Legend of Korra are property of Viacom CBS. Intro music is Dizu by Sendai. outro music is Tokyo Funk by LATG Music. Logo and art by Kate and Matthew Menke. You can find more of their work at pomakin.com, link in the show notes.